I am California of the past.
I am California of the past.
I am California of the past.
I am Dave Warden, and I'm on the Belmont City Council, and I was on the Belmont City Council at the time that we passed Measure C, which was the library bond, and it was successful. We had, I think it was 76 point something %. I believe it was November, December timeframe in 2000. The City Council had to vote to put the library measure on the ballot. And essentially we had three choices. We could either go in March of 2001, or June, or November. And we couldn't go in November because we would have missed the deadline for the paperwork to qualify for the library matching grant money that the state had made available from a previous bond that the state had passed. And we were worried about going in March because it was November, December, we would only have 3 months. There was barely enough time to actually run an election when you only have a few months. And so we wanted to go in June, but the school district had told us previously that they were going to put a parcel tax on in June, and we felt that we didn't want to compete with the school district. So we kind of just gritted our teeth and decided to go in March of 2001. And it was a 3-2 vote on the council. There were 2 people that thought that we should wait and just go in June, make it work, have more time. We knew the community, we knew there was a real need for the library. The building was falling apart. It was only 5,000 plus square feet, and the roof was leaking, and there just wasn't room for anything. And so we felt that the community they'd go for it. And so we used the old Belmont Theater for the campaign headquarters. They gave us the key. We got together, I think it was every Monday, and mapped out the strategy, figured out how much money we were going to need, how we were going to raise money. We had lots of different subcommittees. We had a brochure subcommittee. We had a go out and talk to all the public groups subcommittee, the schools, the Chamber of Commerce, the seniors, all the different groups in the city. We had a poster subcommittee, and I actually designed the poster for Measure C. It was pretty simple, but we had fundraising subcommittee. It was the most well-organized campaign that I have ever worked on in my life. I've probably worked on 7-8 campaigns throughout the last 15 years. That campaign stands out in my mind by far as the most organized, the most dedicated group of people. Everybody showed up. You know, when we had these weekly meetings, everybody showed up, and I don't want to leave everybody out, but you know, I remember Joan Piesheimer and Judy King and Walt Shefflow and Linda Chochos. I mean, there's a lot of people. They just came. Terry Cook came to every meeting, and that's unheard of. Usually you have a meeting and you get half the people show up, half the people can't make it, or they've got a meeting at work, and people just showed up. And so the work got done. We only had really 2 months, which is not enough time. I can tell you, to run a campaign, 2 months is not enough time. We had to design a brochure. We had a friend of David Baumberger's that helped us with the brochure design layout. We got a lot of signs up. I think we made 250 signs. We put them all up. We ran out of signs. We had people going door to door. We had 3 weekends, I think, of organized, get out the vote, people going door to door, passing out brochures, telling people about the campaign. We did a mailing. And then on election day, we had probably 15 or 20 people holding up signs at all the major intersections, at Ralston El Camino, Ralston 6th, Ralston Alameda, up by Ralston Middle School, all these different areas. And there were a few letters to the editor, people that just felt differently. But there was no what do they call it, rebuttal. against the measure. There was no argument filed against the measure. There was no organized committee against it. There was nobody raising money or spending money against it. So I think that helped us a lot. I remember being scared on Election Day because I did a poll. I did my own random poll, and I took 20 random voters, chronic voters, meaning people that vote every single election, and I called them all up, and I said, so, did you vote? Can I ask you, how did you vote for the library? Half of them said I voted against it. So we were really amazed when we found out what the percentage was. This is a place that the community comes for a variety of reasons. They don't just come to grab books. There's DVDs, there's CDs, there's periodicals, there's middle school kids, high school kids, there's reading clubs, there's literacy, there's computer classes, there's little shows for the kids, there's book readings, there's community events. I mean, I could go on and on. There's a lot of things that happen here. So I think that it really reflects to the general plan that this is a gathering place, and that's something that makes a community special, is you define it by the gathering places. And I think this is just one of the major gathering places in the city.